What's going on? It's your boy, Wilmot Craven, on another day that's nice, great, beautiful, all things considering, maintaining, keeping the peace, uh, not worrying about things. You know, there's a lot of things going on, really nothing to worry about. But it was funny. I was looking at something, and it's pretty much stating for a man to pretty much shoulder the load. So I said this, and I thought that was quite interesting. It was very hilarious to me how my 9-year-old was like, that doesn't sound fair for the man to do. So I couldn't stop laughing. So like, you know what? Let me come on here and talk about it. So men and women in this day and age are now in the workforce, and both are looking to build. You know, women now have this thing where they want to be a boss chick. Teach his own. But they also want men to, as they're building their empires or trying to establish their kingdoms, whether it's in their house or whatever, to the masses, they want them to also chase them or look for them and find them, as well as provide for them, spend their hard-earned money. While there are plenty of chicks out here who feel like they can keep their own money and do whatever the heck it is that they want to do. Which is what I said. This is like, that doesn't sound fair. My son said, that's what he said. And to think about it, how do women think that men actually want to sign up for this? How do you think that a man wants to sign up for him having to pay the bills, do all of his work, build, tend to his kids, if he has kids with you, tend to your needs? Because a lot of females, whether they want to admit it or not, they're going to be needy. Why? Because emotion. I mean, it's just a part of who women are. We're not emotional creatures, so emotion requires attention. If you don't give emotions attention, it's either going to sink into a sinkhole, or it's going to find another outlet to ease that emotional outburst. That's just how it goes. Now, some women are fortunate enough to be able to control their emotions and don't have a need for this. But when you find one of those, you're generally keeping that woman because those are few far and in between. But for a man to actually have to do majority of the things, how do women think that men want to sign up for a woman who's not bringing too much more to the table than what he already does? Think about it. At the beginning of this, I said men and women in this day and age are chasing or going after building their own. So if he's building his own and you're building your own and you're focused on building your own, what else do you have to offer? Because when you really dig into building your own, you have less time for the other little small things. And consider the fact that I'm an unmarried parent who I tend to my son, as you heard me say earlier, my 9-year-old. So it's just me and him in my household currently. There's things that doesn't get tending to as much as I would like them to, because I'm also trying to build my own businesses with an S. So there are certain things that I technically actually have him do and to learn how to do things that I had to learn when I was a kid. So, yeah, imagine coming into a situation when it's just a man and a woman. There are no kids involved of a certain age. They can actually do something, be responsible. Yeah, that's an interesting feat to actually do. So, if you're a man and you're building this and you're building that, this is why there's a high probability of two people coming together and seeing that either one is cleaner than the other and one is nasty, and you just, certain things you just see and you're like, nah, I don't want all that. So if women want men to keep these traditional roles, and a man sees that you're not clean, yeah, you're gonna get passed over. Passed over. It goes with what a video I said about the looks. You gotta have more than just the looks. So even if you add that you got money, you gotta have more than just money in your aspirations and your businesses that you have. Because it's not about what you bring to the table. And I'm gonna dig into this in another video in regards to uh asking what a woman brings to the table. Because me personally, I don't ask women what they bring to the table. I'm not picking a woman to to show me what she's bringing to the table. I'm already evaluating. I don't. That's just not a question I ask. That's not a question I ask. So I'm not even going to dive into that any further. I'll deal with that in a whole nother video. But yeah, you have to understand that you technically need to understand that there has to be roles played. And if a guy is not going to pick you because he has to do all these lists of things, where's the benefit for him? Because when it's all said and done, this thing has to work. It has to come together. Both have to come together. And if these two aren't coming together and working to do this, or working to do this with each other, it's a problem. You don't want to be in a situation where it's you two, but you're the one doing this, and the other hand's doing this. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a serious problem. You'll be like, oh, what's going on here? Why are you? I'm telling you to we supposed to be going like that, and I need you to do that. And you come with the hook, but you hit me. Hey, it's like, matter of fact, if you played video games when you was a kid, you remember you had that one person, and y'all supposed to be tearing up the villains. And next thing you know, your own man who's supposed to be on your team, he's smacking you all up the place, taking off your life. You're like, hey, what is you doing? What is you doing? you don't want that. You don't want that. So that's the issue with two people having their own thing that they doing. Because if you ain't sat down as a man and be like, all right, where does she fit in my vision? See, and that's another thing that people mess up, as dudes mess up. Like you messing up because you saw her vision and you didn't pick her to fit in your vision. So what she's doing is not really fitting in your vision, which ends up hitting and all that stuff. So you gotta understand, ladies, that there are a lot of things that is going to constitute you getting picked. But most important is, what else are you doing? Because if he has to do everything and you don't want to share anything from your end that you've accumulated, and you expect him to do all that and tend to your needs while he has to endure whatever it is on his job or whatever happened in his business, because not everybody, in my opinion, can think like me, or guys who think like me and just let stuff roll off and like whatever. And like and in some sense, I had to actually get to a certain age in order to be able to do that. Like when I was younger, stuff actually bothered me. Now it doesn't bother me. I've seen enough of life to realize and understand that I can't control whatever else happens. So if that man is not in that mind frame, what makes you think that he wants to do all of that? You have to be conscious and mindful too, which sets you apart to be a wise woman as opposed to a woman who's just going through life vicariously, doing whatever and wanting her whatever it is she feels she needs and she wants and desires. You got to think about this stuff. You just can't have him want the guy to do everything, because if he's doing everything, chances are you're doing nothing to benefit him. And if he's not being benefited, In time, them issues gonna start to arise. Somebody gonna be frustrated. Or if he ain't frustrated, you gonna be frustrated because eventually you gonna see something else somewhere down the line where you think the grass is greener and seeing that somebody doing such and such to their woman, and then you wonder why he ain't doing such and such, or your guy don't do such and such. It's because for all this time you've been taking him for granted. Now you think because they got something good going on, you want him to not switch up to that. From the whole time you should have switched up. This ain't working unless you both doing something. Look, you see how my fingers coming together? They both coming together. They're both doing the same thing. In order to lock, in order to do this, they're both doing the same thing. Whether it's this, whatever. It has to be on the same page. And if you ain't doing the same thing, you're not helping. It's not a helpmate to each other. So, yeah, I mean, like what I said, fix your face, fix your feelings, make improvements to yourself, figure things out, analyze things to make yourself better and to be capable of working with someone. There's no special person out there for you. You can work with anyone if you're free and open-minded to work with someone. With that being said, I'm out of here.